Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Let's see what my top 5 perfumes for the month of August 2019 are. First one, we're hitting it off right away here. Thierry Mugler, Eau Extraordinaire, the Eau de Toilette. Loving this one. It gives me 90s vibes, believe it or not. I know this one came out later, but it gives me 90s vibes, and I'm wearing it right now. There's a warmth to it, but there's, I don't know. There's that alien. It's reminiscent of Alien, but it's not really Alien. I mean, it has the DNA of Alien, but it's not as identifiable as Alien. And I have an issue with Alien in general, in particular because, I mean, I do like the smell of it, but I did work once with one person that was a terrible human being, and that terrible human being kept wearing it. So that reminds me of that person, which it makes it very difficult for me to love Alien. But Alien Eau Extraordinaire is, it's a softened down version. It's like escaping to another planet and rediscovering Alien anew within a new environment, like erasing all the bad memories of the actual Alien and the experiences I've had with it. I like it in the morning because it's warm. August can be very hot, can be a very hot month. This one is warm, but at the same time refreshing. That's why I like it. And then right after Eau Extraordinaire, maybe an hour or two, or 1 hour or 1.5 hours in, I would switch to Balade Sauvage. The fig in here is delicious. I love, love, love the fig note in here. It's, I don't know if I even prefer it to Diptyque's Philosykos fig. In a way I do, because there's also a sort of a touch of vanilla in here, the Demachi vanilla. In the dry down, and it's slightly bitter as well. So that bitter note is really refreshing for the heat, the August heat. And August does have quite a bit of heat sometimes. So during the daytime, to counter that heat, Balade Sauvage really does the trick for me. Now, this is around 5 p.m. As slowly as the evening starts kicking in, I switch to warmer embraces. Now, I'm not the type of person, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Holiday person, that's what I wanted to say, but we'll get to the holiday thing in a minute. So the next fragrance is McQueen, the Eau de Parfum. So after Alexander McQueen's fragrances were all discontinued, this one from Coty came about. Now Alexander McQueen has a whole variety of different smells, all in the same bottle, different fragrances. I don't even know if they still produce them really, but this was the first relaunch. And the tuberose in here is amazing. I prefer the Eau de Parfum to the pure perfume. I've said that in my review of this fragrance. If you wish to see the review, you could check it out also on my channel. The tuberose in here, as well as the jasmine, and as well as the ylang ylang, they kind of all welcome the night. But they're still very soft, very fresh, soapy in many ways. So again, in the heat, they work very well because they cool you down, even though they wake up the sensuality and the desire for sensuality. So that one is really nice, starting from like 6 p.m. onwards. Then after 8 or 9 p.m., I kind of reminisce, and this is the holiday part that I was mentioning before. I'm not the type of person who usually goes on holiday in August. I prefer to to go on holiday, I don't know, at times when there's no holiday people trafficking all over the place. So let's just say that August for me is a working month, but I still do like the idea of crickets in the grass and, I don't know, somewhere in Sicily, and having that Mediterranean breeze all over me and the salt kind of still on my skin after I've been swimming. So of course, my nostalgia veers towards Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, the Eau de Toilette, the first release ever released, made in Italy from Euroitalia. This is the best thing ever. August is just a perfect month for it, I have to say. Love it, love it, love it. So this is the sensual evening begins here, around 8 p.m. Then, if we are to have special encounters, but not just that. Sometimes a special encounter can be just with yourself at home. Just enjoying a fragrance for yourself, on yourself, or with somebody special. There's a certain type of heat that I enjoy very much in August. The heat that comes from within. And it's a warmth that to me personally is very necessary, in particular in August. I don't know why, but it is. And that heat this year comes from COCO. This one is the Eau de Parfum. I do generally prefer the pure perfume, but the Eau de Parfum is just a tad bit, I don't want to say lighter, because it's not. It's actually more opulent than the pure perfume. The pure perfume stays close to the skin. Even though it's much more rich in texture, it doesn't go into that slight soapy area that the Eau de Parfum can go into, and that slightly soapy touch is needed for me in the heat. Because again, even though, you know, COCO is Chanel's answer to opium, it is Chanel's version of an Oriental, as Oriental as a Chanel mass release ever got to be, really. Because up until now, from the mass release Chanel perfumes, COCO is the most Oriental we ever got. I'm not talking about the Les Exclusives range, where Coromandel probably would beat COCO in terms of longevity, projection, and just intensity all over. But COCO as a mass release Chanel fragrance is the most Oriental of all of them. So that Oriental touch in the pure perfume is just overpowering, even though it stays close to the skin. In the Eau de Parfum, there's that hint of soapy freshness and cleanliness that is necessary in the heat of the night, especially if you're sweating and if you're sharing it with somebody special. There you go. Those will be my 5. Now, as you can see, there's still space left here. You can imagine what's coming now. Honorable mention, even though I'm not using it as much. Well, I am in part, but honorable mention because August is the month Chanel was born. Coco Chanel was born. The 19th of August is her birthday. Of course, honorable mention goes to Chanel number 19 in all its facets and formats. And here we have the Eau de Toilette, developed by Henri Robert, the first released pure parfum, the pure perfume, also Henri Robert, and then we have Jacques Polge's rendition of the Eau de Parfum of Chanel number 19. I love all 3 of them, to be honest with you, and at the moment, I'm actually using the Eau de Parfum quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit. Let's just say I'm using it. It's strange because I don't have a real hour for this one. It might even happen that I use the number 19 between these guys. So as I kind of start the day, I might, let's say I put Eau Extraordinaire on my wrists, behind my knee, like Catherine Deneuve would do with number 5, or I would just put it on my chest area. But then I would add this one 1 hour later. Let's say if I would put Eau Extraordinaire here, I would maybe put number 19 there 2 hours later. So I wouldn't layer them on top of each other, but I would definitely kind of maybe put them close to each other. So this one would be added here and there. It would be sprinkled throughout the day between the other fragrances that I'm using. So that's something very interesting to, you know, to note in general about perfumes, because if you have a special perfume, like in particular Chanel number 19, and why is it so special? Because there's a certain dryness to it. Maybe you could even call it a certain arrogance to it, sophistication, you know, as most Chanel creations are. And I'm not just talking about perfumes, I'm talking about their clothing line as well. That dryness goes very well in opposition to the kind of, well, I don't want to say these are sweet. There's a bit of sweetness here and maybe here, but these 3 are not sweet at all. And none of them really are. But if we were to kind of select out of these 5, which ones are as closest as we can get to sweet, it would be these 2. Coco and Alien Eau Extraordinaire. But the amount of dryness that we have here, it just blows everybody else out of the park. So, but also the soapiness. Again, we have that soapy touch that gives us a clean note, which is so vital, especially in August, where the heat is just overbearing and overpowering. So that dry sophistication added between these, because, you know, here we play on that warmth, here we play on that fig, here we play on the tuberose, here we play on the Mediterranean field and on lavender, here we play on clove. Here, it's like a dry cloud of green, fresh cut grass. So there's no wannabeism whatsoever. So this one literally calms down the spirit of all of these in a good way. It tones them down. It kind of reins them in, you know. It's as if this would be the jockey and these would be the horses, and this one is riding them. So it all blends in perfectly at the end of the day. So honorable mention, yes, it does turn out to be the 6th fragrance in all of its renditions and all of its iterations, being it an eau de toilette, eau de parfum, or pure parfum. The honorable mention ends up permeating all the others and ends up being the jockey of all the other amazing stallions that we have here in the ballpark today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've liked this video. Let me know what your top 5 fragrances of the month are, or more than 5 or less than 5. And comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Super Dacob all spelled together. I'm also on Patreon, also Super Dacob all spelled together, where you get to see videos before they hit YouTube, and some are even exclusive only to Patreon. Thank you so much to the patrons that have already pledged. I love you all, and never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.